What's up, everybody? We are back in the house. It is Thursday night at 8:15 p.m. This is Vetted with Irving Fryer and Big Dog Hollis Thomas right there.
Yes.
And we on A2D Radio. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, and come on in the house. Talk to the people, Big Dog.
Vetted is brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. I know you and everybody has heard about the trip to Brazil. Well, my esteemed colleague Vincent Rizzuto is going to Brazil this weekend after he takes some people down to spring training in Clearwater. So he's going over there, and we'll have more details for you. But if you just want to go there and reserve your spot, if you go to phillysportstrips.com and go all the way down to trips and go all the way down to the bottom where it says the Brazil takeover is real. So that's phillysportstrips.com, and tell them you heard it from the tank on A2D Radio.
That's going to be special.
It's going to be legendary.
I've never been to Brazil before. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I guess it's some way, somehow I'm going to get there. That's my wife.
Wants to go.
That's mine and my wife's wedding anniversary weekend. So I think we're going to try to make it down there with one group or another.
Hey, I told you you might be able to have my spot because I may stay back here and throw something with Philly Sports Trips, myself and Bob Cavanaugh, because because for the people who can't go, we're looking to do an event here so the experience can be real. So you may be able to take my spot and just strictly represent.
Well, I like that too, but I don't know. It might not be bad to stay here with you.
But we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it big. We're gonna talk about all.
I know it's gonna be fun. Yeah. Then I can get my car and go home rather than being still in Brazil.
But you still have to. Somebody special to you wants to go over there for their birthday.
Yeah,
I don't have to say. So you got to go.
Yeah. That probably is the case. I don't, I do.
What do you mean probably?
I do what I gotta do. I do what I gotta do.
We were talking in the green room, and I want to hear your opinion. There's a couple of things I want to hear your opinion on. Really,
all right.
The first thing is you want to talk about the elephant in the room first, or do you want to just go? I'd rather just go straight to the enemy first because
okay.
Because the elephant in the room, we haven't really talked about the other thing, and I'm going to surprise everybody and let everybody know what that other thing is after you discuss the enemy thing. Because before you discuss it, I do know because I was talking to Mike Caldwell and I talked to the enemy on the slice too. He did have some other offers, but he's kind of like, I don't know if you've seen the documentary where the one coach who was who interviewed for a for a bunch of head coaching jobs, and he was more experienced and they say better qualified than other guys, but he ended up just stopping right. Coaching. So you want, I know you want to hit on the enemy thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit it brings a little pause to me. I think we've gotten over the hump in terms of the NFL and the hiring of black head coaches. I think we've gotten over that hump because even this year, the hiring of black coaches in the NFL increased this year. Yeah. So I don't think that's as much of a block or as much of a problem or as much of an issue as it's been in the past. Bieniemy has been on 14 different head coaching interviews,
right?
With 13 different teams. So he went to one team 2 times,
right?
But he's been on 14 different interviews for the head coaching position, and has been with 13 different teams and has not yet been hired. And as a result of that, he made a decision to go back where he was in 2003 and through 2005 to UCLA, not as a head coach, but as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
which is really, to me, is a little bit confusing and confounding to me. There has to be something about his ability in his interviews or his content in his interviews or maybe his attitude or I don't know, body language or his vernacular or whatever it is. There's something that's really, really not, that doesn't smell good in his interviews that is causing owners not to hire him as a head coach. It has nothing to do, obviously, with his football IQ. We know that he has a high football IQ. He was there in Kansas City with Andy Reid for 10 years, won a couple of Super Bowls. We know his football IQ is very high.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's his way of presenting himself, and teams don't want him to be out front representing a team in the way that he talks or the way he represents himself. I don't know what it is, but there's something there, man, that doesn't smell right in Denmark because of a guy like this that has the pedigree that he has and has the background that he has and has the experience that he has in the NFL, having performed at a high level, particularly as an offensive coordinator. And I know, being with the Commanders, and they went, what were they, 4-13 last year?
They were pretty
that was one of the worst records in the league. I know that did not, put a feather in his cap, and that, caused him to have to seek another lateral movement, maybe on another team, as not as a head coach, but as an offensive coordinator.
Right.
But to go back to, I'm not saying it's a backwards move, but to go back to UCLA and to operate as the offensive coordinator, maybe he's doing that because he can shake the stink off the NFL off his back.
Well, the one thing
do that for a few years and then he can come back in.
Well, I talked to one of our esteemed colleagues a little bit more than you, Troy
Vincent.
Yeah, there was some stuff that transpired in his that transpired with Bieniemy that's kind of holding people from touching him right now.
Okay, well, I figured we don't know what it is. I figured there was something there that happened.
I heard rumblings, but it wasn't good. And this is just what they told me. I'm not gonna be the rumor spreader, but that was one of the main sticking points. Is some things that transpired while he was at Colorado, and some other stuff that would rear their ugly head. And I think they're trying to get a grasp on it to make sure. This is another thing too. My boy Troy Seabrook is in our question saying Leslie Frazier. Now, Leslie Frazier did have a head coaching job, but Leslie Frazier took a step away for a hot second, and they're talking to, because when that was the one thing that a lot of people don't know, that the Jim Johnson coaching tree is like all those, I still keep in touch with a lot of those coaches. Right. And one thing he just said he needed a break because of all the. Like they say, Leslie Frazier and Bieniemy should have a coaching job.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's like it. But with Bieniemy, I think it's much so because it has to do with women and stuff. So I think it's one of those things where they're gonna do all of their due diligence and they're gonna make sure it's just right, or it's just the right situation. And I think he's not giving them that it's like, okay, so let me see.
Let me ask you a question. The information that you've been able to acquire from reliable resources, and it's obvious that something happened that's created a barrier that's keeping Bieniemy from crossing that barrier into the head coaching realm.
Right.
How do you know how many years ago that took place?
Yeah,
whatever it is.
It was.
It didn't just take place.
It didn't just take place, but it's close to the near future to where I think he's going to get one, but it's going to be like it's good. It's not. I don't think it's 10 years old. Put it that way.
Okay, so again, as I said, maybe he's seeing this as an opportunity to not necessarily take a step back, but to get away from the NFL, do his thing in college,
right,
and then. The next time a door opens, 2-3 years from now, step into that kind of position that he's been seeking to step into as a head coach in the NFL.
Well, when you think about it, it's like a lot of coaches did that when they didn't have any success in the professional ranks. They went back to the college level.
Yeah. But he has had success. He just hasn't been able to be hired as a head coach.
He hasn't been able to be hired as a head coach.
Yeah.
And it's just like one of those things. It's like some guys you see them and they interview for a bunch of head coach jobs. They just never get it. It's like this, both white and black. It's like if you think about a lot of the people who are like the people like what's the guy's name? It's right there. He's always with like Dick Vermeil, the offensive coordinator. I can't think of his name. I don't think it's he's
an older guy.
Yeah, he's an older guy now, but it's like you just notice some of those guys is like that never really get that opportunity to be in charge, and it's like or they get that one particular opportunity, and then they kick back to the coordinator position because that's what they're best at. It's like,
well, I look at some of the and this is why I'm kind of not bothered by it, but it kind of I don't understand it because I look at some of the head coaches we have in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
And I know, Bieniemy's an old school guy. Andy Reid's an old school guy, and he had some issues down with the Commanders and trying to, get to shake the players, to wake them up,
to
get
people
them to practice
accountable
harder.
for their job.
Yes, hold people accountable for their job. And the players did not respond to him and, actually threw salt on him and talked bad about him as though he was doing something wrong, which he wasn't doing. He was just coaching the way he knows how to coach. And sometimes players need to be coached hard, particularly when they're not performing. Right. But with that being said, I just don't see him, based on some of the head coaches I see in the league now, what he's been able to do with his football IQ in and of it, because that's what matters the most.
Yeah.
What you can do when the guys are on the field, what kind of adjustments you can make, how can you respond to what a defense is doing if you're an offensive guy, or offense is doing if you're a defensive guy. And he does that quite well. And I've seen head coaches in the league right now that I can name a few that I would think he would be a better head coach.
Yeah. But yeah, and when you look at it, but we can't tell people who to hire. And
no, you can't. No, you can't.
And it's like if he didn't get the job done in the interview, because we were not in there. So it's like if he couldn't get them past what we're speaking of,
right.
Then I mean I think he feels like he has to take a step backwards before he can take some steps forward.
And that's what I was saying too. Yeah, that take a few years, take 2, 3, 4 years in the college ranks, and then maybe step back into the NFL ranks, and we'll see what happens.
Now with that being said, before we get into this other ordeal, this is leap year. So today is February the 29th.
29th, yeah.
Yes, this is it's leap year. Well, it was leap year everywhere except in 1712 in Sweden. In Sweden in 1712 they went actually to February the 30th.
Oh, really?
But it's saying that I wasn't going into my history expo, but I was just saying that this is leap year. So, and I really want to know what you have to say, because our resident number 1 receiver, AJ Brown, called WIP, and apparently he took them to task. And I was really glad he did it. A lot of people was like, and we had this conversation off the whatchamacallit. But any of your comments, or anybody who heard the interview, please comment, and I'll make sure I'll get it in here. But the one thing that I said, and I was laughing because I told you this before you comment. I told you that it's kind of like when somebody's talking trash behind your back, and you just happen to walk up on them as they're speaking trash, and you say, and they all of a sudden it's like in the immortal words of Charles S. Dutton in the movie Dirty Low Down Shame. All I was trying to say is
listen, before I respond to that, we got a 15-minute call. Listen, hit the subscribe button if you're watching. Hit the notification button, hit the like button, the thumbs up, that's the thumbs up, not the thumbs down. Yeah. Hit the subscribe, hit the notifications, that's the bell, and hit the thumbs up here for Vetted on A2D Radio. Support us, y'all. Take care of him. Help a brother out. Come on now.
Now, what did you now you said you had a specific opinion about this ordeal. Now give me your opinion first, and then tell me your opinion first. But then, as you're telling me your opinion, remember, I'm going to ask you, what would a young Irving Fryer have done in this situation? When you're number 1 pick overall, when you're the man.
I think what I'm going to say is going to explain what I would have done, because and I was actually one who was a little critical of AJ Brown during the season in that game where he had his little. Animated conversation with Jalen on the sidelines.
Right.
I still I'm of the opinion that should not happen. We should not do those kinds of things on the field where everybody can see it.
Right.
But as I thought about it more, and I thought about myself, you will vouch this what I'm saying anyway right now. So for everybody who's watching, when games come up, so it's Monday. So we're doing what we need to do on Monday. It's the day off on Tuesday. So Wednesday, we start ramping up even more. Thursday, ramp up even more. Friday, we ramp up even more. So it's a lighter practice, but emotionally and psychologically, we're starting to ramp up. Saturday, whether it's a home game or away game, we get on the plane to go to the away game. We're getting ready emotionally and mentally, and we're getting ready. And then when the ball is kicked, when the game starts and the ball is kicked, I don't know. I'm sure everybody else is like this who played in the NFL. I'm at 1,000 psychologically, emotionally, mentally. I'm at level 1,000. I'm at 100%. I'm ready to knock somebody out. Would you agree? Would you agree?
Yes.
And you do that. Too. Yeah, and you do that every week. After the game is over, you don't turn it off. You got to turn it down because you can't turn it off, because if you turn it off, you can't turn it back on. Right. You don't turn it off. You just turn it down because you have to do everyday life. Some guys have families. You got to deal with your kids. You got to deal with your wife. You got to deal with your parents. You got to deal with everyday life during the week. But when that game comes, as the week goes on, you're ramping yourself up. You're gearing yourself up. You're rousing yourself up so that when the game whistle blows and the kickoff happens, you're at 1,000% and you're ready to knock somebody out. Now, during the game, yes, I'm at 1,000%, but everybody communicates when they're 1,000% different ways. Now, for me, I wasn't a rah-rah guy. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. Really, I didn't say anybody, and I didn't want anybody to say anything to me. If you ever watched me during the game, if I wasn't on the field, I was sitting on the bench, not talking to anybody, not showing any emotion. I was staying focused because that's how I did what I did to play the game. I stirred and turned the fire on the inside while I sat quietly. And I believe that if I was saying something or being all rah-rah or being loud, that took away from my fire burning on the inside. So I did not let that kind of stuff out. I took it out and let it out on the field. There are other guys who are rah-rah, i.e. Brian Dawkins. He hollering and screaming and being, he's very emotional. That's how he played. That's how I couldn't do that. I couldn't operate that way when I'm in that mindset, game mindset. Brian could and did. That's another extreme, right. But everybody communicates different ways. So I came to the realization, okay, AJ Brown is in the game. He's at 1,000. Right. This is just the way he communicates when he's at 1,000. Jalen Hurts is more like me. He's laid back, not like he's, not being intense, but he's not a guy who's going to, articulate himself in a way that looks, outward, that's outwardly that people can see. You never let him see you sweat. You won't see it on the outside, but he's fired up on the inside. So, I had to give, when I came to that conclusion, I was like, when I thought about that, I'm like, I got to give AJ Brown the benefit of the doubt. If that's the way he communicates, because everybody communicates differently when they're in the heat of the battle. And if that's the way he communicates, then that's the way he communicates. Yeah. And I thought it was a good interview. I thought he was very, very forthright in what he was saying. I thought he was very honest in what he was saying. I thought he was very clear in what he was saying. And he answered a lot of questions that people may have had in terms of the fans, in terms of the media. And he was able to, stand on his position of leadership on the team and let people know that he's a hard worker and that he wants to be in Philadelphia. And I think he shut a lot of people up in terms of some of the stuff that had been started for no reason at all. Right. All of that talk about him being traded or wanting to not be here and that kind of stuff, all of that was just people, talking. There was no truth to it at all. And it's a shame that he even had to deal with it.
Well, yeah. And Hey, so is that how you would have dealt with it too? Would you have took him to task?
Well, if it was me, when it came out and people asked me about it, I would have dealt with it then. I wouldn't have taken, it took him maybe 3 weeks, couple weeks to come out and say something about it. I would have dealt with it right at the beginning. If it weren't true, like it wasn't, I would have said, listen, I don't know what it is. I want to be here in Philadelphia. This is where I want to stay. This is where I want to play. And I would have squashed it and not let it get to the point that it did. Because one of the reasons it got to the point that it did was because nobody heard anything from him. And when people don't hear anything from, whoever is the target, then they come up with their own speculations. They just continue to stir the pot. They continue to poke the bear until something happens.
Well, I was laughing at it because it's just like I said, it's like everybody has something to say to the person that they're talking about. Shows up on the scene. And it was like, wait, it wasn't like that. Not like that. But it was pretty funny.
It was kind of like that. It was kind of like that. Yeah.
It was, and everybody was trying to hold on to their jobs and not getting fired. But that's what happens when you start talking trash behind somebody back, and everybody up there was ducking and dodging and stuff. And it was just to me, it was just funny. And it kind of took the shine off of what we're truly here for in the draft, in the combine.
Right.
We've been talking about the free agency, and I know everybody's wondering if Jason Kelce is going to retire, or the core three guys: Jason Kelce, four actually: Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson, Fletcher Cox, and Brandon Graham. Well, what they're going to do next year, but I think it's all predicated on what we do in the free agency. If we look like we're going after the big one, and you know what that consists of. They just gave Ladarius Sneed the freelance to seek a trade.
What? As far as I'm concerned, in terms of the free agents, I mean, I did some work as we both agreed to do. I did some work and looking at the free agents that are out there right now.
Right.
I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. The Jerry Sneed is a shutdown corner.
Yes.
Him and McDuffie were the best duo of corners in the league right now. You see, I got balloons going on.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know what that is. My screen froze. Sometimes
I'm like, what? I
don't know. I got something set up on my screen where I put my fingers up like that. Balloons go up. That's crazy. I don't know what that is. I got to figure that out. Anyway, but if I would go after him, with everything that we have, because guess what? He solves a lot of issues for us right from the get-go. As soon as he gets on this team, on the Eagles team, and steps on it, he solves a lot of problems for the Eagles at that position. We know we struggled a whole lot with Bradbury, who was the starting corner, opposite of Slay. And can you see Slay and Sneed as corners?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Well, you look at that, and then you remember you got the young guys. You got the young guys to be able. And when you come with those teams who come out with all that passing and stuff, and the one thing that I think we also do need to, and it's the big beast that all of us. If you're an Eagle fan, you know that we need a damn linebacker. We need some. Right, we need a combo linebacking core, because if you even with you notice even with good really good corners or the best corners, you still need somebody to when they turn them in and they chase them in. Somebody needs to be in there and have some wherewithal,
exactly,
to be able to help those guys out. And,
you're right.
But a
shutdown corner like Sneed. Now Slay is not the shutdown corner that he used to be.
Right.
But so Sneed comes in, and even though, yes, we still need linebackers. I'm not saying we don't need linebackers. We do. But Sneed coming in, he's a takeaway guy, meaning he can line up against whether it's your first receiver or your second receiver. And what you usually do is you take your first receiver and you double him, and you put Sneed on the second best receiver, and he shuts him down. I mean, totally shuts him down. And that allows the linebackers and everybody else on the defense to operate in a more free way. You know, it frees them up in certain instances.
It allows everybody else to eat, and it's like the one thing, and the one thing that you do is I think we did that for the most part, but when I was fortunate enough to when we was playing, I had BT and Troy V, and then we brought in Al Harris that had 31, and it was like we always had quality corners and stuff, but the thing that I loved in all the defenses, even under Emmett Thomas. He used to always disguise things, and a lot of times people would be thinking that we're running blitzes and we're just running zone pressures. It's still four guys coming. You just don't know which four. Right. And it's what I love to call organized chaos. When you deliver organized chaos, the offensive line is confused, and you have free runners at the quarterback, and you force them into mistakes. But if you just stand out there vanilla, and he knows that you're lining up either in hawk defense or over, hawk, which is over or under defense. And then sometimes you may give them a back front, and you're not really doing any stunts to confuse their line up front, and you're not disguising your coverages. It makes it for an easy day for them. It's almost like practice.
Right. So in your opinion, I mean, I know for me the number one need is linebacker, but we also need corners and safeties. We need defensive backs. We need a corner and at least probably two safeties. we need some help at the line in the second level. The second and third level is where the Eagles need to focus on. The Eagles have a first round draft choice, which is the 22nd pick. It's their own that they own. Right. And the second round is the 50th pick. Those two picks, and then the 53rd pick, which is another pick in the second round. They got that from the Saints. And then they got a third rounder that's to be determined, which is a projected compensatory
pick.
Compensatory pick. And then there's 4 fifth-round picks.
4 fifth-round picks, yep.
Yeah. So there and 3 of those 4 compensatory picks, projected compensatory picks. So listen, I wouldn't be mad, I wouldn't be upset if they focused all of those picks on defense.
Yeah.
Did what they need to do. Yeah. Do what they need to do in the free agent market. Now listen, I got a sleeper.
What's that?
In the free agency market.
What's that?
That I believe will be able to come on the Eagles team and take the team to another level right away defensively.
What's that?
It's Drew Tranquill. You know who that is?
I know. I said that last time.
Did you say that last week?
Yeah.
Oh, you said okay. Well, he's my sleeper, man. Because listen,
from the Chiefs,
when the Chiefs, he can do all 3. He can stop the run, he can cover, and he can blitz.
Yep.
And when the Chiefs needed a play, my God, he was there making a play. Now I know he was with the Chargers, for 4 years or 5 years prior to coming to the Chiefs. Yep. And 2 years ago, he had 126 tackles with the Chargers.
I know.
Dude is a baller.
I know.
He's a free agent.
I know.
And the Chiefs aren't going to sign. The Chiefs are not going to sign him or try to keep him.
No, because they got to try to keep Chris Jones and a couple of.
He's a guy that will come in who is better than every linebacker we have right now.
You know who else is Devin White?
Devin White. That's my other guy from Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Now he's a little bit suspect. He's a great edge rusher, great blitzer. He's 26 years old too.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Yeah. But he's suspect a little bit in run defense and in coverage. He's weaker in those areas. Let me say it that way. I'm not going to say he's suspect. Yeah. He's weaker. Yeah. The thing that he does best is rush.
Right.
That's what he does best.
He blitzes best, but I know Tranquill, they put him on the same landscape as we had Kazir White.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's got the ninth most tackles since he entered the NFL in 2019. So the cat is balling. He's balling. He's got the ninth most tackles out of anybody in the NFL since he's been in the league, which is saying something.
Yeah, well, you know what it's saying? It's saying the call to action is now. It's the second call to action.
Yeah. Oh, it's another call to action. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button there, Ralph. Subscribe. Put it back up there. Subscribe. No,
like.
That's like, subscribe, and notifications. That's the bell and notifications. Hit the notifications button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. That's the thumbs up. That's the like, not the thumbs down. The thumbs up.
Yeah.
Come on, y'all.
Great.
we need your support, because our boss gonna take us off of here if we don't get your support.
Oh man,
but that's my sleeper.
Is that your sleeper? Oh, okay.
My sleeper is Drew Tranquil. That's my sleeper.
Well, see,
I think the Eagles should pursue him as well as they should pursue. If they were to go out and get Snead, because Snead obviously is not going to go somewhere that's not a contender. He's used to playing at a high level on a team that's very successful with the Chiefs.
Right.
The last 2 years they won the Super Bowl, so he's used to playing at a high level. He's used to competing on a team that's competitive, that has an opportunity to go deep into the playoffs and obviously possibly win the Super Bowl, get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. So he's not going to go somewhere or not going to entertain thoughts from teams who are not competitive.
Now was also William Middlebrook in our comment section has a quality point about getting middle linebacker help and elite safety. And I was just saying, we Eddie Jackson, who's with Big Fangio, he's available, and the kid Curl from the Commanders. They're both the type of safeties that we would really need to handle business, along with a couple of linebackers. There's a couple of guys out there, and then also Jeremy Shin is probably going to be available. So I think we'll have a nice. I think we'll be able to garner some people with some experience and who we know what they could do, especially if Vic Fangio puts his seal of approval on them to get done what we need done here.
What do you think about Clowney from the Ravens?
I think Clowney he's kind of like that one-trick pony. And
you think he's over? You think he's done? He's over the hill?
I don't think he's done over the hill. I think he's still got some gas left.
He's 31.
Yeah, but he's still signing 1-year mercenary deals.
Yes,
everywhere.
He is.
So
he played for $2.5 million last year with the Ravens.
Yeah,
1 year deal.
Because he was with the Browns before that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think he's probably going to stay up that way. But I think the main thing though is that now that Ladarius Sneed is been given the latitude to make a trade for. Right. That would be like really awesome.
Snead is a free agent.
No, but they've said he can seek a trade. See, if when they say you can seek a trade, that means that that probably they were going to
sign him.
No, they're probably going to not sign you, but franchise tag you or transition tag you so that they get a pick.
Same thing. Sign him.
Yeah. Well, that's not they tag him. That don't mean sign him, but they said he can seek a trade. So now, see if somebody wants to come up and give him like a first or a second round pick or something for him, and take him in, but you got going to sign him to a deal. So
listen,
you can get everybody out the box.
I'd give up that first round draft choice for him, first and one of those seconds. I give those up for him.
Now I'll give up a first and
I give up. We got one first round pick. The Eagles, I should say. I'll keep saying we Eagles have a first round choice, 22nd pick, and a second round choice, 2 second round choice, 50 and 53. I give up the first round and one of those second rounds for Snead. Snead is a baller, man. Yeah. Snead is a shut down corner. I'm not saying shut down corner that plays zone. I'm talking about who can go up against any one of the high profile, more elevated receivers.
Right.
Any one of the elite receivers in the league and play one-on-one with them anywhere on the field. Snead has that kind of ability because he's shown it. He's shown it. And Clowney too. Clowney ain't no joke either.
Well, yeah, coming off the edge, Clowney, he's been doing it for.
I'm not talking about Clowney. I meant to say McDuffie, the other corner.
McDuffie's good too, but I think that's why they feel like they can develop, and
that's why they feel they can get rid of Snead because they got a great guy on the other side, McDuffie.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But I think Howie's going to be at the combine working his jelly, and I had the combine on in the background watching the big dogs run.
Yeah, the big dogs are running today.
Yeah.
We don't see the quarterbacks, receivers, and the defensive backs or running backs. I'm sorry, quarterbacks, receivers, running backs until Saturday, March 2nd.
I don't really care about that.
They got the big dogs today, though.
I was watching the big dogs today. I was watching a 366-pounder roll. He was rolling. I was like,
was he rolling?
Ran like a 5'2" or 5'1" at 366. It's the tandem down in Texas, University of Texas. Murphy and Sweat. Murphy and Sweat. Mm-hmm. Sweat is the one that's 366 and was the nose guard was rolling. But I think Brandon, what's the dude? The D tackle out of Florida State. He ran the fastest. I think he ran like a 4.7.
Wow! How
interior line.
Yeah, no, but can you imagine that kind of weight moving that fast? That's ridiculous. Yeah. That's almost like a car.
Yes, he was moving. Well, just imagine the kid at 6'4", 366 and running a 5'1". He was rolling. The big dog was rolling.
What you running the 40, big dog? What you running the 40?
4.98 and a 5 flat.
You ran a 4.9?
4.98 and a 5 flat.
Man, you were rolling too, man.
Right, yeah, you know. The one thing that was funny was like we kept I kept trying to I didn't want to eclipse that 5. I wanted to get the 4.98.
Right.
Or just in the 4.
Be underneath 5 seconds.
Yeah, because in the shuttle I did like a 4.4 and a 4.5.
Okay. Did you see? I saw something today on social media where Tom Brady. I'm changing subjects. Where Tom Brady ran a 40-yard dash just recently, and at the age of 45 now, 43, whatever he is now. Yeah. At the age of 40 something, he ran faster than he did when he was 22. He ran a faster 40 now than he did when he's 22.
You know who I know he still can't beat? He still can't beat Darryl Green.
He can't beat nobody. Well, first of all, he that's why he raced himself. Okay. So they had the
they superimposed it.
Yeah, they superimposed it, and he ran against himself and he beat himself by. I mean, it was just a smidgen, but he ran faster than he did when he was 22 years old. That's absolutely crazy. Then he said, "I'm gonna be faster next year." So I don't know what.
That's not really saying much.
No, it's not saying that because 6 seconds is 6 seconds.
now, I'm looking at I got the thing on the background. The kid, Payton Harrison, I think his name is, the one guy from North Carolina State, the linebacker. He just ran a 4.4.
Oh, so the linebackers are running today.
It's an edge rusher. They call him an edge rusher. He's like
the edge rushers.
6'4", 230.
Wow, he's 6'4", 230. He ran a 4.4.
Yeah, but the knock on him was his staying healthy. That was his knock on him because he's at
a position as edge rusher. He's rushing against bigger guys, and he's a smaller guy.
Payton Wilson, yeah. But then he's also a championship wrestler.
Well, that's why he gets hurt.
Yeah,
wrestling, getting his limbs pulled to and fro. So okay, big dog, we got the first round draft choice, number 22 in the draft. What are you selecting? Who are you selecting? What position are you selecting, and who is it that you're going to select in your Eagles draft? In your
Eagles draft? Let me see here.
Yeah. We didn't do the agree or disagree.
What's the agree or disagree question?
Let's throw that up there.
What's that?
Yeah. It is Howie Roseman will change his perspective about linebackers this offseason. Do you agree or do you disagree? I thought that was a pretty good statement.
Yeah.
Will he change and put some emphasis? Because I mean, word is that Howie just doesn't really emphasize or has no emphasis when it comes to linebackers, because over the course of the years, he's not really put a lot of money and gotten a lot of talent when it comes to linebackers.
Yeah,
so we got to change his perspective this year.
We were with one of those around Super Bowl, Matt McCoy out of San Diego State. You remember Matt McCoy was there with me. He played linebacker. He was one of the guys he drafted I don't know if he drafted him or if they just drafted him. But they went through a litany of linebackers of trying to get the proper linebacker. But if you look at who he's already interviewed, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., and they've interviewed the kid out of Texas A&M, Edgerrin Cooper. So I think that they're going to try to make not so much a splash, but get somebody in the second round, because both of those guys are projected to be high second round picks. And
right, Edgerrin's like the third best. I mean,
Edgerrin Cooper is like Jeremiah
like
Trotter is the second or third, and Edgerrin Cooper is not that far behind.
Well, I looked where I looked and where I saw the rankings, Edgerrin is ranked like the third best linebacker coming out. They got Dallas Turner, number 1 in Alabama. They got Chris Braswell from Alabama, number 2, and they got Edgerrin Cooper, number 3.
Okay.
Jeremiah is not ranked until number 6. He's like the 6th best linebacker coming out this year. So, I mean, it sets up, when you look at it, it sets up, if the Eagles don't trade away those picks, it sets up so they could, maybe get Jeremiah in that second pick in the second round.
Yeah. Well, if it sets up properly, you'd be able to get two linebackers in the second round, and start a bit of a young core. But in the past, we hadn't really even interviewed any other linebackers. It was like you never heard about us even interviewing any of the linebackers at Combine. So maybe they take it
in the past. You're talking about in the past.
In the past, yeah. So
that's why our linebackers played like our linebackers played this past year, because it was ridiculous.
Well, what I'm saying is maybe they're taking a turn for the better. So maybe now that he's interviewing these guys, and because if you're able to get Trotter with that second pick, or like my thing is this: if we come up to our first pick and the kid Brian Thomas Jr. is available, Brian Thomas Jr. is another receiver that if he the Kenyon Coleman kid,
we don't need a receiver, man.
But if those guys are available, those are game change. We don't have that. When I say those guys, you remember when I was talking about the people when they come on the field, everybody's looking for them.
I understand.
Those are those type of guys. But
I understand.
But I would say go after the kid Quentin. It's a DB out of.
Here's what Howie needs to do.
What do you need to do?
Howie needs to trade that first pick, and possibly second pick, or maybe the third round pick, or one of the second round picks, and get the Jerry Sneed. I'm telling you, that's what he needs to do. And then use that second round pick and the third round pick to focus on linebackers.
For those of you guys who are with us, what if they say we have a trade when we come up, and it's just like when we got AJ Brown.
And what happened when they traded for AJ Brown? What happened to the team offensively? It went to a whole nother level immediately. And if we trade for the Jerry Sneed, I don't care if we get rid of the first round pick or the second round pick, or first and the third round pick for the Jerry, it takes the defense it starts to solidify them, and it automatically takes them to another level, a level that's better than where they were. Because I mean, when you're at the bottom, all you can do is go up anyway.
You know who else is available cornerback wise?
Who else?
Xavier Howard.
Yeah. Xavier, you say Xavier McKinney or Xavier Howard?
Xavier Howard, the one Howard, all pro that was in Miami.
Okay, I'll have him down.
I know you don't. He's a free agent.
Chauncey, free agent. Chauncey Gardner Jr. going to be a free agent again this year too.
But they released Xavier Howard, so they released him and another guy down there that's an edge rusher. I feel like that's what I'm saying. It's like when I look at the landscape and the people who are getting released due to cap casualties,
right?
I think we could put a nice little free agent together. So when we go to the draft, the Darius Sneed is what will put us over the top.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. There are capable players defensively, whether it's the linebacker position, whether it's some of the research I did today. There's capable players in the linebacker position in the draft that are coming out of college. And there's capable players at the corner position, capable players at the safety position that can come in and literally start their rookie year and have an impact on the team their rookie year, so that we can do what we need to do in free agency and really capitalize in both areas, really benefit from both areas. But man, if it were me, if I were and I'm not Howie, I don't know how Howie thinks. I don't know, Howie probably wouldn't even recognize me if he bumped into me in the store. But
I talk to Howie all the time.
Well, he wouldn't know who I am. He probably don't care. I'm sure he doesn't care either.
I don't think he was here when you were here.
He wasn't here. No, it was Tom Modrak was here when I was here. When I was with the Philadelphia Eagles, it was Tom Modrak.
I remember Tom Modrak came out after the debacle that they had in place when you got here.
Yeah, but Tom was
Tom
here
is the one who escorted you out.
Huh?
Tom is the one who escorted you out.
Yeah, Tom Modrak escorted me out.
Howie came. I want to say Howie came a little bit after that. Yeah, it was a little bit after that, but he was. But see, he started out as Joe Banner's assistant.
Yeah, Banner came after me as well.
No, Banner was already here.
Was Banner here when I was here?
Yeah.
What was he doing?
He was just in charge of contract, but they
so he wasn't
had him picking all the people and stuff, and he wanted to say, but they wasn't listening to him. But then he would mess them over by whoever they were trying to get. He would mess them over on the contract here, because I know you would have loved to be catching passes from Mark Vernell, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know that he was that when Raiden first got here, that's who was supposed to be the quarterback.
Really?
But Joe Banner messed him.
Well, the two guys I caught balls from when I was here, they weren't that bad. I caught balls from a Heisman Trophy winner, Ty Detmer, and Rodney Peete.
I'm gonna drink a little bit more of this.
Listen, those cats were above average. Listen, my second year, or was it my first year? My second year here in Philadelphia, Ty Detmer and myself were the best quarterback wide receiver combination in the league.
Oh, did you see that though?
What's that?
Was it in the comment section?
Hey fellas, where we at? We're Stu.
If we're gonna trade for a quarterback, why Patrick Surtain the second? Ooh.
We don't need a quarterback. We don't need a quarterback.
I said cornerback. Corner.
Oh, corner.
Yeah, Patrick Surtain is I mean,
he's got pedigree.
He's a beast.
He's got pedigree. That's for sure.
But he's a beast. He's currently a beast. You just don't hear about him because they don't win that much.
Right.
Gabe Davis, Michael Pittman, or DJ Chalk would be some affordable and great fits. They're going to they're franchising Michael Pittman. Gabe Davis, maybe. DJ Chalk is, but those are free agents who are available.
But when you talk about the free agents that are out there,
right?
We're talking linebacker, we're talking cornerbacks, or defensive backs. Snead is the best one.
Yeah, I know.
And there's a gap, and there's a gap between him and the rest of them.
Right. It's a big gap between him and the rest of them, and But it's when you look at it, but it's not that much big of a gap between Michael Pittman's a beast, Gabe Davis, but Michael Pittman Jr. He's up there with them. They got damn Kirk Cousins up there. I don't know what the hell he's coming off the key. Now now don't get me wrong, Kirk Cousins is a decent quarterback, but he's only going to get so far in the playoffs. But he's coming off of Achilles tendon surgery.
Right.
I don't know why he's up that high. I don't care how long you got to
Kirk Cousins should come in looking to be a backup somewhere.
if he leaves Minnesota, but he's a unrestricted free agent. But the top of the crop right now is Chris Jones, and he's about to get paid out the wazoo because he is a game changer.
Wherever he goes, whether he stays in Kansas City or goes somewhere else, he's going to be the highest defensive lineman in the highest paid defensive lineman in the league.
Yes, and then that's why I think that they gave Ladarius Sneed the permission to seek a trade.
Yeah,
because it's going to be a sign and trade, and that's why he's going to seek somebody who's willing to pay him for his services.
And in my opinion, I think we can acquire him. I think we can get him. Why? Because one, this team, the Eagles, is a team that has the potential to go to the playoffs, deep in the playoffs, and possibly win a Super Bowl or go to a Super Bowl next year. Which Sneed's not going to go to a team that doesn't have that. So there's only a few teams that he will even entertain the possibility of signing a contract with. And I believe Philadelphia Eagles are one of those teams.
Yeah.
So Howie needs to put together whatever it is he needs to put together to get Jerry Sneed here in Philadelphia, because he does that. I'm telling you, that's going to be an automatic turnaround for this defense. And that's the area that hurt the Eagles more than anything else. Forget the styminess of the offense. The defense is what the problem was.
Yeah, if you look at it, somebody said it, but they didn't really say it. But our Achilles heel defensively was the middle of the field with the inconsistent safety play, the linebackers, and then having the young corners. But we didn't have any quarterbacks on defense that stayed with consistency. Either they was in and out the lineup. Put it this way, Blankenship led our defensive tackles. That's the safety. Right. He should never lead. It should be the linebacker or the strong safety, or the linebacker, and somebody up front should be leading in tackles. If he's leading in tackles, that means that they're getting to him way too often. So
you're right.
Russell Wilson said he'd be a backup for the vet minimum to be on a team that has a chance for a ring, because he's already got paid by Denver. Where do you think he goes?
Russell Wilson wants to be a starter. Russell Wilson has been a starter, and I don't think he's going to go to a team or be on a team or intentionally to be a backup.
Yeah.
He and right now, the way things are going in Russell Wilson's career, I think, this is just my opinion, I believe that he feels he has something to prove now, because the last couple 3 years have not gone the way his first few years have gone.
Yes.
So now he feels he's got something to prove, because people talk junk. People have been slighting him and saying negative things about him, and he's not going to be he's not even going to be in. I read something where they said that he's not even going to be in the league next year.
And the person who wrote that article probably would be salivating to get an interview with him and be like, what do you mean I said this?
What do you mean I said that?
But I knew it was time to jump on the water wagon when I saw the promo for Bronco Nation, let's ride. I was like, oh God.
Bronco Nation.
Let's ride. I'm like, it's like, Russell, come on, Russ. That's not even you.
Well, but he's not going to go somewhere. He's not going to sign somewhere with the intent of being a backup.
Now, William, go ahead. But I was going to say, now, William Middlebrook, you might have been listening to the Yahoo on ESPN.
Which one of the comments are you talking about, Middlebrook? I see about 4 of them.
Well, you talking about the Russell Wilson one. What's the GM that used to be with the Jets was on there talking about trade him to the Jets and have him back up Russell Wilson. Not Russell Wilson, but what's the guy there that's now the Rodgers? Have him back up Aaron Rodgers.
And the Jets?
Yeah, that's what the guy. I can't think of the dude's name because he was a Yahoo when he was a GM. Mm-hmm. That's why he's on TV commentating. Because I'm looking at they got Chase Daniel talking on here, and he has done all he did was make money. That's it. If you look, it's like I was like, he was here. They paid him. I'm talking about he just got paid out the ass. I'm like, come on, man. So do absolutely nothing. He right up there with Sam Bradford.
So you said something, just brought this up to my mind. I'm going to ask you about this. I'm going to ask you about this. Change of subject. Uh-huh. And I know we got to go to history with Hollis here after this. But so tell me what your thoughts on the whole Cam Newton fight thing.
You know what the funny thing was? They thought, excuse the language here, they thought shit was sweet. Did you see the dude? They went in his pocket. That damn hat did not move.
It didn't come off, did it?
And somebody said it best, was like, when you come out dressed like that, you know he's got to have his hand speed has got to be unheralded.
Yeah, no, listen, Cam Newton's 6'5", 250 pounds. That cat ain't no little dude.
And then, did you see the dude face like, yeah, he was grappling with us and his face all bloody and stuff. But I went in his pocket and took his cash. I was like, yeah, you're going to need it to get some more teeth. I thought that was like some of the funniest crap known to man.
That was, watching it, it was just, it was funny, like you said, like you're implying. It was hilarious watching him and Cam. That's right. He slung them like a rag doll.
Destroyed them.
and he was handling. My thing is, where was security at? How come he didn't have people around him?
Hold on, but it was like 3 or 4 other cats, and his hat didn't even come off.
Right.
That's
he handled them. He handled them like they were rag dolls.
And the funniest part too was like then they started showing parts where I know like he had a couple of fights in practice when he was in with the Carolina Panthers.
With Panthers,
yeah, and they showed him grabbing cats and stuff. But it was just legendary to let people know that it's kind of like back in the day when you used to wear something messed up to school. It used to, and sometimes if you're gonna dress like that or be like that, you probably got hands. And most of the time, it was like if you keep messing with somebody, they're gonna show you. Before I read history, the funniest thing known to man, Sean Morey, and I can't remember the kid's name, but he was LSU, Norman Lejeune.
Norman Lejeune.
Now, Sean Morey had got blasted in one of the games, and so they played it, and Norman Lejeune was steady. Like he took the joke way past special teams meeting and was talking about it. And so he got into the hallway at the NovaCare. And he said, "Hey man," he said, "it's over." He said, Sean was like, leave me alone. So, stop asking me about it. And so Noah was like, "What you gonna do?" He's like, "Really?" He headbutted Norman Lejeune.
Yeah, you gonna make me do this?
No, he headbutted Norman Lejeune, pulled his shirt over his head, and gave him some of those tie kicks, knees to the head.
Knees to the head. Wow. Yeah.
And he come in the training room. I was like, damn.
So what happened to you?
I saw what happened. I was like, damn. And it goes to show you sometimes when people say it's enough, it's enough.
It's enough.
Leave people alone. Leave them alone.
Right. Leave people alone.
Yeah, Sean, that's one thing I learned. I was like, I told him, I was like, Sean Morey, I have a newfound respect for you. He's like, why? Because I respect your hands. I didn't know your hand speed was like that.
Come out. Come out.
And then he headbutted him too. So you knew he was in trouble.
Wow.
But I got this history for you.
It's time with History with Hollis.
And History with Hollis is brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. Go to phillysportstrips.com and hit trips, and you can put your deposit down for the Brazil trip. As I said before, Vincent Rizzuto is going to Brazil to procure some stuff so that we can have a tremendous time in Brazil. Today is February the 29th, 2024. It is leap year.
It's still Black History Month too.
Yeah, yes, it is. It's the 60th day of the year. There's 306 of these suckers remaining. And as I said before, it's also the last day of the meteorological winter in the northern hemisphere.
Okay.
And the last day of meteorological summer in the southern hemisphere, but it's only in leap year.
Okay, so winter is over in the northern hemisphere.
In the northern hemisphere, the
meteorological,
winter is over. But Mother Nature can do whatever the hell she wants.
She always does whatever she wants to do. Mm-hmm.
Today, I got some national holidays here for you. Today is National Bachelor's Day. It's National Digital Learning Day. And obviously it's leap year. Mm-hmm. It's what is it? Also, it's Surf and Turf Day.
Meat and fish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's also Frog Legs Day.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that either. Yeah, I got some events here. I got the first event is in 1712 with February the 29th is followed by February the 30th in Sweden. It was only in Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden just doing what they did what they just want to do.
Yeah, they did what they wanted to.
They just made up a day.
It was a move to abolish the Sweden calendar for the return of the old style, the Julian calendar. 1832, Charles Darwin, he walks through some of the tropical forests of Brazil, and he calls it the transport of pleasure. Transport of pleasure. Wow. In 1940, Hattie McDaniel becomes the first African-American woman to win an Oscar for her role in the movie Gone with the Wind.
Mm-hmm.
In 1960, the first Playboy Club, which featured bunnies, opened in Chicago.
1960?
1960, the very first one, yes.
Wow.
In 1964, the Cincinnati's Jerry Lucas and Oscar Robinson for the Cincinnati Royals basketball team, they combined for the 40-40. Both of them had 40 points.
Wow.
Oscar Robinson had 43, and Lucas had 40. And Oscar Robinson was the MVP of the league that year, and Jerry Lucas was actually the rookie of the year. They still didn't win the title, though. In 1972, Hank Aaron becomes the very first player to earn $200,000 annually.
Wow.
For the Atlanta Braves. His average, is up. Yeah, I know you're saying how did he earn that? His batting average was 327. He had 47 home runs the previous year and 118 RBIs.
Wow.
1980, Hall of Fame right winger Gordie Howe. He scores in the third period to become the very first player in NHL history to have 800 goals.
Wow.
They
got
got
some goals.
Yes, it is. They got some birthdays. Got some birthdays real quick here. This is leap year, so I want all the people who have leap year birthdays. How do you celebrate that? So
they disappear. They disappear in other years. They go away.
In 1840, William Harvey Carney. You know who he was?
No.
He's the first African American to win a Congressional Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor.
Yes. 1960, Tony Robbins. Banana Hands. Yes.
Banana Hands.
1968, Bryce Pop, the linebacker Bryce Pop. 1976, Ja Rule, Jeffrey Bruce Atkins Sr. Ja Rule's birthday is today. In 1992, the swimming sensation Jessica Tatiana Long. And yes, it is. If any of you guys remember the movie Monster with Charlize Theron, the lady who was modeled after Eileen Warnes. Today is her birthday. Rest her soul. She was a murderer though. So we this day
don't talk about the dead.
Don't talk about
the dead. No.
And the history of Hollis was brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. Go to phillysportstrips.com and choose one of our trips. I'm going down to Clearwater.
When you going down to Clearwater, man?
I'm going to Clearwater the 13th through the 5th to the 18th. So the banner is on the back wall of the down there at spring training. So
okay, is that going to be on a Thursday? You're going to be down there on a Thursday? You're going to have to do the show from down there?
Probably, more than likely. Okay. I'll have my stuff with me just in case.
Yeah, well, bring your stuff.
Actually, what you call I think is going down there as well. Tom.
Oh, Tom's going to be down there.
Tom. That's what Tom coaches, baseball. That's his bread and butter.
Oh, well, yeah, he coaches baseball, but he doesn't coach baseball in Clearwater, Florida.
I know, but that's where I actually met him.
Oh, really?
Yes, he met a friend of mine and exchanged numbers, and so we're here now.
So it's history. It's history with Hollis. See, that was some more history. That was an extension of the history with Hollis. You just learned something about Hollis and Tom.
Yes, you learn something new every day.
Tom is the owner here at A2D Radio. That's our dude. Well, that's it, y'all. It's 9:18 past my bedtime. Yep, past my bedtime.
Everybody's putting in is celebrating his 8th birthday today. Eric Kendricks, the Dolphins linebacker.
Whose 8th birthday?
Well, he's born on leap year.
Oh, okay. So, this is 8th birthday.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, listen, y'all, we'll be back next week. We'll have more information for you about these draft picks, about these free agents. Hopefully some stuff will happen between now and next week.
Well, no, it's definitely going to happen, really. Is the one thing that I was going to make sure everybody, if you get an opportunity to, if you don't watch the combine, check out some of the numbers and see if some of the guys who were invited to the combine, if they showed up and showed out. The one thing that I predicate a lot of my choices of players on is when they show up and show out here, and then the time between here and their pro day to see if they are really and truly into playing football. Because if you show up at your pro day fat and happy, and you're not ready to show, then I know you're just in it. You just in it for the girls and the money. So,
well, and then also, I mean, more so than ever now, when it comes to these combines, guys to come to the combine and to perform well.
Well,
these are highly touted events. These are high. They have a high intensity. There's pressure there on these players. So can they perform
under
the pressure?
Because pressure busts pipes.
Yes, and it says a lot about these kids right now and their ability to perform in the NFL. If they're able to do what they need to do and perform at a high level, test high while they're at these combines. And they have nobody to blame but themselves if they don't, because this is not team at the combine. This is you as an individual, your individual by yourself testing. So we will have more about the combine next year because next week because the combine started today. The big dogs are running today and lifting today now. And doing the thing. Yeah, they're running right now.
Yeah, they do it. They're doing everything like literally as we speak. And
right.
I'm catching parts of it as in my background. That's my white noise in the background. So
the white noise.
Yeah. But they're going over a lot of people. And do me a favor, and you do this too, Irv. Try to find check out some of the guys who are not going to be at the combine. And pick your dark horse. I like to pick the guys who are those everyday lunch pail type guys who are already polished and stuff, who spent 3 or 4 years in college and are coming out already ready, and you know what they are, you know what you're getting, and you're either vitamin as a free agent or they'll be 6th or 7th round picks, and they will be a nice contributor to your squad.
All right, so we'll have that for you next week as well.
Thank you, sir.
Enlighten you in terms of the dark horses.
Yes,
who may not get drafted, but may sign as unrestricted or undrafted free agents that will come into the NFL and still make a difference. Like Big Dog right there.
Damn Skippy.
Yes. So we'll see you next week. A2D Radio. This is Vetted. I'm Irving Fryer. That's Big Dog right over there. Hollis Thomas. This is A2D Radio, Vetted. We'll see you next week, Thursday at 8:15 p.m. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. See you next week.